Well, I think that wraps up the Game Awards and topic one. So we're going to be moving on to topic two. And we're going to kind of be doing our own Game Awards. Not really. We're just going to be talking about Game of the Year for 2022 from a personal standpoint, but then also our personal Game of the Year that maybe we just had played the most or got the most out of, regardless, obviously, of launch year.
I think you just did the same thing twice.
You feel like I said the same thing twice?
Same thing twice in two different ways.
Okay, my apologies. Let me redo
Our
this.
personal Game of the Year and then our Game of the Year.
I did say personal game twice, yes. Okay, so we will be doing two choices independently for me and Jeff. We will be picking a game from 2022 that we think was our favorite, the top, that released in the year 2021. I said 2022. Fuck, I am ruining this.
You're doing the whole lead up to this too, though. So
2021
I think you're just done with this year.
Game of the Year released in that year.
Let it be January already.
And then the other one will just be a personal game that we had played the most this year or had gotten the most out of this year, regardless of release date. So maybe something we either replayed or played for the first time that we had missed, whatever. So 2021 release, anytime release. Okie dokie. So we're going to start with the 2021 games. We'll start with that. Kind of talked about, obviously, what we played from this year's releases and then eventually get to what our top was. So I was kind of talking with Jeff before the show started, and I was like, man, looking through this list, I feel like I haven't played a whole lot that had come out this year. I talked about it last topic, but Guardians I still have not played. Looking forward to that. I haven't played Returnal. I watched some of it. It seems interesting. It Takes Two I haven't played. There were some big names, obviously, from the Game Awards standpoint that like were nominated for things that I haven't played, so I don't feel like I can give an accurate like choice there. But from the ones I did play, at least I went through and listed a bunch. The new Pokemon Snap, I played that. RE8 Village, Knockout City, Chicory, Ratchet and Clank, Pokemon Unite, WarioWare Get It Together, Deathloop, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, NBA 2K22, and then Mario Party Superstars, and then I haven't played it, but have watched the entire game through, was Inscription. So, wide variety there.
Bugsnax? Not fond memories of Bugsnax?
Bugsnax wasn't released this year.
Wasn't it?
No, that was, oh boy.
Doesn't matter. I was teasing you.
I did play Bugsnax this year, I think, but that was not this year released.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So wide variety for me. I got a couple. Yeah, I got a couple standouts that I really enjoyed. We talked about RE8 Village at the end of the last topic. I thought Village was fantastic. It was a really good time. Fun to run through, more action orientated than compared to like a 7 where it's that like stealth survival horror. But in some ways Village kind of fell a little bit flat, I felt. You mentioned Lady Dimitrescu, tall lady, like marketing and announcements, she was front, like she was the main figure and everybody was excited for that. Her portion is fun, is great, but is like a quarter of the story.
Like she's the intro boss.
Yeah,
I thought that was really funny because it was such a build up and everyone was so excited. And I was like, and lead up, I was like, you know, you guys are gonna have to murder her, right?
Right.
There's no happy ending for your thirst.
Right.
Situation. And then she just ends up being like the tiniest portion, the first one shuffled off to the
side. Which, like I said, her stuff was great.
That being said, the marketing team knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They 100% knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So her stuff was great, but then from there, like each of the other characters were not as great. Yes.
From what I understand, and again I haven't played it.
Mm-hmm.
Village, the Lady D portion is that game's Biohazard. It's going around the house,
Oh,
sneaking around the bakers, and then it shifts because apparently they had so many complaints about the game being too scary, it shifts back towards the action segments of 4, 5, and 6, and then it's more about you get there's less focus on the survival horror and like what's around this corner. Is there gonna be something that jumps out at me as so much as okay, where's the next wave coming from?
Yeah, in a way, I definitely, when you kick off the game, it definitely starts like action, like waves of bad guys that you'll deal with, and then I'll agree, it does go by more Biohazard when you're in the castle with Lady D. The next pillar or quarter, whatever that you're against, is very horror centric.
Is that the?
It's the puppeteer, the mask.
Okay. The dollhouse.
Yeah.
Thing.
So that one was very horror-esque. Personally, I wasn't super scared, but I think it was because I was tipped off before, like something will happen. So it was always like that.
People were like, that's the scary part.
Right, yeah. So it's like, oh, and then when it happened, I was like, that wasn't that big of a deal.
That would have been good if not everyone on the planet was
talking about it. Exactly. Yeah. And then the third portion was, I think, probably the weakest.
Body horror. It was body horror. It was Japanese body horror.
Yeah, true. So that one was probably the weakest. And then the last guy, his character was actually...
After a trip to Taco Bell.
The last guy, he was actually an interesting character. And I enjoyed going through his section. But it was like the enemies didn't seem super threatening. It was like zombie robot things.
That guy reminds me so much of somebody. Or like a combination of people.
Oh.
His voice sounds like somebody... He looks like Clancy Brown.
Sounds familiar, but I can't.
So you'll know him because he voiced Mr. Krabs.
Okay.
But if you see him, he's got Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
He was the human detective.
Oh, okay.
The hair and the goatee. He looks like that guy.
Yeah.
His voice sounds so familiar as somebody else though, but I can't I was like, if they ever make this into a movie, they have to cast him. Sorry, I just wanted to.
Oh no, you're good. And then I will say the final boss, she was kind of cool, like the overarching villain or whatever, like the mastermind. So like I'm a mixed bag. Like it was good, but I don't think it was like RE7 good. And maybe just because RE7 was such a
return to form.
Thank you. Yeah, just like back from what it was originally.
From what it had become, it was so back to its roots and so fresh and refreshing.
Yeah.
And it just grabbed you, shook you, and did not let go at any point.
Right. So, yeah, Village, I don't know. Like I said, fun to play, but in some areas, kind of
like I said,
fell short.
Capcom, they definitely... they got a lot of, I don't know if it was from like worldwide audience or specifically like Japanese audience, got a lot of complaints that it was too scary.
Interesting.
And they really focused on addressing that. I think to the detriment, the appeal of 7 was that it was tense and scary.
Yeah.
And you were like, you're constantly just being brutalized.
Yeah.
And you really feel like you're just like trying to just get through this moment into the next moment, into the next moment. And like taking away that kind of goes back to what it was that people didn't like. So
yeah.
Not to say it's not fun.
Right.
It's just not that Resident Evil experience that people necessarily get super excited about. Not even that they want, but they're looking for. It's what actually makes them excited.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, I had that one. And then yeah, there was some that kind of like caught me off guard, and I think a lot of people like Knockout City. I was playing that for a little while, but that kind of fell off. But that was fun, the dodgeball game to play around with. I know a lot of people freaked out about Pokemon Unite. It was like a League of Legends with Pokemon on the Switch that was free to play. Maybe not a lot of people in Jeff's circles were freaking out about it. But
I was gonna say, like, I recognize the name, but like I cannot think of anything about it. I'm so out of Pokemon though.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, it was just League of Legends with the lanes, but you're Pokemon. And I was like, I played it. I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's just the gameplay like style.
I'm just over abusing
Okay,
fictional
all right, get off your high horse there.
I'm not a teenager anymore. You know, I have a conscience.
So there was that one. And then, yeah, another one that came out of nowhere that was amazing. Like I said, I haven't played it personally, but I've watched it the whole way through because it was just so fascinating, was Inscription. Came out on Steam, and it's like a card-based, like, puzzle game with, like, 8 different layers of the story going on, and, like, it just switches at random points. It was awesome.
I have not touched any Inscription videos. One, I don't like card games, and I think this goes back to a GameCube game called Lost Kingdoms.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever heard of it or not.
It sounds
You play
familiar.
as a princess who essentially her kingdom gets invaded by evil, and you have to Yu-Gi-Oh your way through a bunch of levels by like getting these magic cards that when you use them, it summons a trap or a creature or an effect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like an actual physical thing in the space that you're moving around in.
Mm-hmm.
Really good idea. Like a lot of GameCube games, though, execution was it got a sequel and I never touched it. But it looked really cool, like the art style, like the leering faces in the shadows. I want to check it out. I'm hoping it gets. So I think that game, it's a PC release. I think it is. You could do a decent console port of that.
Probably. Yeah, that's.
No, you don't. It doesn't require like quick mouse movement or things like that. So a cursor would be fine with a stick.
Mm.
It does look really cool, though. You're right.
Yeah, you mentioned the art style. That was the big thing Lady was intrigued with when we were watching it. But even though I've seen it all the way through, I do want to plan on streaming that game eventually. Because it looks so fun to play and unique.
It's like a layered weirdness. I don't know if I want to say horror so much as like escalating creep.
Yeah, tension.
You know, like you're not. Yeah, tension. It's like it just goes up and up and up.
Yeah.
Because things are just like more and more unsettling.
For sure.
But it's not anything like, you know, it's not a horror.
Yeah, you're not gonna sit there and scream or whatever. But that looked really cool. And then Mario Party Superstars, probably the latest release. That was just amazing, especially considering like how Nintendo does stuff occasionally. Like Mario Kart 8 is still a thing. This was really good. It's a lot of fun to have, obviously, the remastered maps from the N64, those selection of 5 maps that they had. Have you
gone back and looked at any of the originals and put them side by side?
So that's a cool thing that they do in the game. It's brief, but they'll show the original graphics as they're like explaining the map, and it's like, woof.
Oof. The cake one, if you look at like like the Mario, the character toppers. I actually, it's the first Mario Party game in I don't know how long that I'm excited about. And I think it's because it's a return to form.
Yeah,
they messed with the movement too much. Like the Super Mario Party, like I could probably get into the free movement where you can go anywhere. My brain is just like, oh, this is Mario Party, too many decisions. It's like that. It's like that. The jump that people who grew up with 2D when they had to go to 3D. That's like, oh, what is? My brain can't.
Right.
It's like, no, I need like you don't choose where you go. You go wherever you're going, and you hope to God you don't land on a Bowser. This one looks really cool though, and it's fun to visit the. I like that they. It's only the first 3 games, the N64 games.
So yeah, there's 2 maps from Mario Party 1, 2 maps from Mario Party 2, and 1 from 3.
Best Mario Party is Mario Party 2. But the mini games are like the first 8 games.
Oh no, all of them. There's some even from 9. There's some from. I don't think there's any from Super, but yeah, from 1 to 10, and maybe even the DS one. There's games included.
Because there's been in my opinion, there's been a drop off on board quality. Like I feel like every new game that comes out, like there's fewer board. Like what Super Mario Party had, 4?
I think only 4. Yes.
That's a crime.
Yeah.
Like, at least include one unlockable one that's extra hard, you know?
That is
Where's
one.
Bowser Land?
That is one thing I will say is a detriment to Mario Party Superstars is there's no unlockables. There's no unlockable characters. There's no unlockable stages.
And they haven't had it for a while, right?
No, I think Super had a lot of unlockable characters. You had to do like certain paths for
yeah,
DK.
yeah.
I think Birdo was unlockable. I don't think.
No, I don't.
Maybe Shy Guy, Monty Mole. I don't know. They had a few that you could unlock.
No one needs to unlock anything about Birdo. Birdo can stay locked.
But yeah, Superstars, they didn't have anything unlockable. You can unlock stickers that you can use in game to taunt people. You can unlock like the original soundtracks, which is kind of cool. I'll admit that.
Oh, those MIDI
and then like character profiles
janky coming out of a modern TV as they sounded out of a CRT.
Yes. And then yeah, like character profiles, which is like this is not
that belongs at a Smash Brothers game.
So hopefully they treat this like the latest Mario Golf where they do like free DLC. I would love that, but I haven't heard anything, so we'll see.
I did not care about those Mario Golf games in my youth. I don't know. I think it's because I discovered Kirby. I can't think of it. The Kirby golf game.
Okay, didn't even know that one.
It was a Super Nintendo game. It was the Kirby Star Course or something. I hate that I can't think of it. But it was like you had to like hit Kirby and he was the ball and you'd bounce around and you had to stars and then get him in a hole. Like that kind of got me turned on to it, and then I've learned to love the Mario Golf games. I'm really excited to play that one. Jumping back to Mario Party before I go into the golf, like I said, if they're not going to include extra stuff, I'm glad they at least go back and give you the favorites of the old stuff, as opposed to like it's a new thing, but there's nothing special about it.
Right.
Like parts of this have been done in the other ones. Like, yeah, okay, fine. If you're not going to give me anything new, give me the classics. I can appreciate that. Yeah, the golf one though, like, I want to play that. That looks fun. I don't like that it seems to be like a speed course kind of thing, but whatever.
Oh, that's only certain modes. Like you can play it traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to do the Super Rush mode or whatever.
I have to look that up because you and Lady, I feel like would really enjoy the Kirby one.
The Kirby one. Well, while you're looking that up.
It's on the. I don't know if you guys have it. It's on the. I believe it's on the SNES Mini.
Oh yeah.
And it should be on the Switch Virtual or whatever they call the Virtual Console.
Okay.
On the.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Let's see some other shout outs just quick. Pokemon Snap was a lot of fun. Like the different environments. I liked how they switched up the levels. Like you would take slightly different paths, obviously like the original one. Something that they didn't do from the 64 was like the different little puzzles or like really hidden ones. I feel maybe I just haven't found it. But that felt a little lacking, but I did really enjoy the amount of Pokemon that were around variety wise, and just like it wasn't one Pokemon. It was like, oh, it's like actually living, like there's a flock of these birds or whatever. So really enjoyed that for a while. Yeah. Ratchet and Clank on PS5 was fantastic. I wouldn't put it, I know it was up for Game of the Year, I believe, or at least something. It was up for some award. I don't know if I'd put it in that category. I think visually it was stunning. Like it looked insane, like especially coming from the movie that we got years ago. Like seeing that.
I think I watched that, and that's the most I've ever seen of a Ratchet and Clank.
But seeing that, it was like that quality, and it was just insane. Like them obviously transitioning from cinematic to gameplay, like no difference in image drop or quality there. Gameplay was fun, story was good. The new characters that they introduced in Rivet, and I'm forgetting the robot's name, but they were really cool.
Isn't it Clank?
No, Clank's Ratchet's robot. Kit is the new robot.
Well,
yeah, because it's different dimensions, Jeff. It's different dimensions. You need to have alter egos.
Explain the complete history of Dragon Ball while you're at it.
Okay, well, you start with Goku. He hits his head on a rock. So, Ratchet and Clank was great. WarioWare is pretty fun. That's just fun, exciting multiplayer chaos. And then the surprise one, I haven't played much of it, but Nick All-Stars Brawl, actually kind of good as a fighter. And Smash Clone. Is it fantastic? No. But, it runs pretty well. It's fun. So, yeah.
I'll never be able to play WarioWare because of your Extra Life.
Oh, yeah?
Every time I play it, I'm going to be like, Enigma needs to be here trying to get his cheeps to clap against his heels.
The squats, oh boy.
Get that.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, and then I guess I do have two more. These ones I've just started playing recently. But they're both fantastic.
Are we still in release this year?
I am still in release this year, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Going through all of them.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So yeah,
we started talking about N64 games.
yeah, we did go on a tangent. So released this year, two that I've started playing recently that I have enjoyed heavily of both. The first one is Deathloop. Deathloop I got back into recently. It's just really fun to play through. Obviously, with Dishonored, like, you kind of get your choice of play style in a way. Obviously, Dishonored has a little bit more of repercussions with, especially one, obviously the plague. If you go too violent, plague will spread, etc. Mm-hmm. This one has the choice of freedom of playing either obviously stealthy or just going all out and violent, but doesn't have that setback that I feel Dishonored has, where like it limits you because of those.
Well, because it's a time loop game, right? So,
yeah.
And no matter what you do, it only takes place over like a single day.
That's true.
Whereas the other games, it is a narrative that extends through what you're playing and into the future. So yes.
True. Never thought of it like that, but yeah, I do like that freedom, and it's been fun.
Why would anything you do matter if you
well,
if it gets rewound?
But has been fun.
The point of Groundhog Day.
Just to sit down and like really absorb the entire world, because I think the basis of it, but you're trying to escape the loop, and you have to get rid of all these different visionaries, and you have to kind of make this plan of like, how can I capture them in that 24 hours.
It's like a Hitman level, right?
Yes.
Made by Arcane. Like, you're on a party island that's stuck in a time loop, and you have to figure out how to take out specific targets by the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's like the worst. It's like the hit from whenever they rebooted Hitman. It's like the level I hated the most because there were like 5 targets.
So
but you loop time. So
it's been fun to go through and pick up all the different information about obviously the visionaries and about the island, figure out what's going on, tactics obviously to take out the different visionaries and where they'll be. So it's been fun going really slow and just like taking my time, but to nitpick through everything. But then also when something does happen, I don't feel like I fucked up egregiously if I have to get into combat. It's like, oh, okay, do my thing. So, yeah.
Arcane is very good at, I'm going to call it set piece sandbox.
Okay.
It's like the Predator sections of Arkham Asylum. Like, it's very structured, but you have 8 million options. And you can adjust and watch and learn. They're very good at those.
Yeah.
And that presents a lot of fun because you're given, like, okay, these are the things, like, everything, if you do nothing, everything follows a set path.
Yep.
But if you introduce anything new at any point, it will branch off into multiple different things. And you can sort of structure your gameplay through there. And also, it's just fun to be like, what happens if I throw a bottle at this guy's head?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun to replay through or get back into. So excited to play more of that and continue playing that through. And then another one that kind of took me by the side just out of nowhere, once again, shout out to the Trophy Room for letting me know about this game, has been Chicory. Chicory is an independent title, as Jeff's expression shows. He has no idea what it is, which I totally understand. Essentially what Chicory is it's a art puzzle narrative. Ooh. So
are we talking like Unfinished Swan?
Potentially. I haven't played that game, so I don't know. But I know, add it to the list. But what it is it's just top down. You're looking at the world and your character. Your character is a janitor who works for this, they call them the wielder. They wield a paintbrush and they go around and, help the world. But what happens is the world is entirely wiped of color for some reason. And the wielder cannot be found. But you happen to find the brush. So you pick up the brush yourself and you take on this responsibility of like, you know what, I'm going to help out, I'm going to make things better, and I got to find the wielder and get this back to them. And essentially the whole game is you learning about the brush and your abilities, but you control two characters. You control your character and you control the brush. And you're using the brush to figure out puzzles, platforms, etc. in the world and help people around. It's been really fun. Dialogue is cute. The characters are adorable. And then also just like figuring out the puzzles of like, okay, if I use the brush this way, I can get to certain areas, or I have to use the brush for certain combat against bosses, etc. It's been a lot of fun. And it's kind of also zen too, because of obviously the world is black and white. You can paint anything and everything however you want. You want to get up close and do details, you can unlock different brush styles and textures if you wanted to do that. Or if you just want to go in and just be like crazy, just like splotch here, fill this, do this, you can do that as well. It's been a blast. And I just really enjoy the story they're telling. Yeah,
It's
really
called
good time.
Chicory?
Chicory, yeah. Chicory. Really good time.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. It sounds like a mix of what was that Mickey Mouse game that came out last gen?
Epic Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where you have the brush
Against Oswald.
Yeah, I don't know. I never played it. I'm an adult. I don't touch this shit. No, it sounds like a mix of that with Unfinished Swan and the sort of narrative twist of that PS1 game, Moon.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Where it's like you have the hero, the protector, but then they're gone or they're out or they're doing shit they shouldn't do, and it's you have to kind of take up the reins and fix shit.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. I'm definitely gonna check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a good time. So yeah, out of my list for my 2021 release, that was Game of the Year. Man. I'd like to say Chicory or Deathloop, but I don't feel like I can because I haven't finished them all the way through, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
you like if a game tanks in the last quarter, that completely ruins the experience.
Right.
So,
but I will say they are obviously high on my list because I have been enjoying them so much so far. But I think I will have to go, even though I've kind of talked it down earlier in certain sections where it falls a little bit flat or just wasn't what I was expecting. I would put RE8 Village at the top for my personal game of 2021. Game of the Year, whatever the hell. Ratchet and Clank was great. Visually, it was fantastic, but I don't think it really did anything different, like outside of previous Ratchet and Clanks. The dimensional travel was cool, and obviously how it functioned went really well. But I think RE8, like just the excitement leading into that game, and then it did deliver in certain parts. And I did like the pickup of action compared to 7. I did enjoy having that more tense situation of like, oh shit, I might die right now because I'm not shooting enough or whatever.
Because you might die because you don't have enough ammo.
Exactly. So yeah, I would put Village up
really
there.
A tension reliever, which makes it more enjoyable in a certain way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Yeah. So Jeff, what did you play that came out in 2021?
I'm trying to think because 2021 for my brain is a lot like 2020, where it's just like
mush.
Isn't it still April?
Right.
I mean, there's big ones, obviously. Mass Effect Legendary.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing those games for 3 years for the Extra Life streams, and having to go back and replay the first two in an updated form. I mean, especially the first one, there are so many quality of life improvements that make the game so much better to play. I never once had to worry about like having my inventory be full when I replayed 1 on Legendary. They make it so much easier to like sell and get rid of crap. Just minor, nothing major. Like the graphics are still like, of the trilogy, it's still the janky looking one. But there are so many minor quality of life improvements that it makes it feel like an entirely different game. 2 is awesome, and then 3 I just started doing for Extra Life, and I'm still working my way through. I'm almost to the end of the game. There's like 1 DLC and like 2 major story missions left. It's just I'm essentially in the mop up sequence of the game. And I love me some Mass Effect. Sorry, I got distracted thinking about. I mean, yeah, I just love that universe, that series, the stories they have, the potential for stories to tell. And that's another thing I was hoping we would see at the Game Awards, is some kind of teaser, because we had that 1 teaser trailer last year,
right? And
I think there's been like 1 piece of official artwork, which I zoomed all the way in and dissected that.
Enhanced.
And I know Lady wants some more Garrus.
Of course she wants more Garrus.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a big one for me. Although I don't know, because it's a remaster, I don't know that I could say it's my favorite game of the year.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. A really big one for me, although I haven't touched it since I beat it, was Medium. Which I got my Series X when it came out last year in November, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I did not play at all because I tried streaming it and my setup could not handle it. It looked patchwork and really crappy, and I didn't end up playing it at all. And that was, I think, one of the first major games I got for it. It was on Game Pass, so I didn't actually buy it. I've bought it several times since then, though, because I ended up actually paying for the digital version, and I got a physical release as well. That was a really fun team, and made by Bloober Team, who, like we were saying earlier, there's a lot of rumors going that they're going to be making the next Silent Hill.
Okay.
Which they've done. They did the Blair Witch game and Layers of Fear. Both of those.
Yeah.
Like their expertise.
That's their niche.
Atmospheric, scary, moody games. I think Medium got presented as more of a Silent Hill survival horror than it actually was, but it was a really fun story with a lot of good moments and a really interesting mechanic that I really, really liked. Exploring the world both as the physical character and her split off spiritual form. And there's the other characters in that game as well make it really worth it, because you have good guys and bad guys, and you see characters in the past, and the narrative all together is really cool, and how it wraps up is not at all what I thought it was going to be. It's really, really cool. I highly recommend it. I really, really, really want to see another one. I definitely recommend playing it with somebody who's spent some time in Eastern Europe, so you can figure out what some of the shit is saying.
Oh, yeah.
This is a lot of Polish and Russian. But it was a lot of fun. That's definitely up there for me. Another one that came out of nowhere, and you know what? Actually, did it? I have to check. I have to check real quick.
Yeah, like you said,
if I don't buy it physically, it's hard to remember when games come out.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Let's see. Oh, that's dumb. Okay, so I played it on the Series X, which came out in December. The Switch and PS4 version came out this year. So I don't know if this counts.
Sure.
Haven.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very, very artistic. The entire soundtrack is the most chill thing I've ever heard. It's all about exploration. There's some really interesting RPG turn-based combat, where it's sort of rock paper scissors kind of thing.
Okay.
But there's a lot of like sub mechanics to it, and you're controlling two characters at once.
Mm.
So it's kind of like is it Brothers for PS3, where each
I think so.
stick on the PS3 controller
Was one
controlled a
of them.
different
Mm-hmm.
character. So not only are you trying to monitor and like orient your thumbs to two different things on the screen, you have to watch the enemies and what they're doing as well.
Mm-hmm.
It ends up it's essentially a like an exploration. How did I describe it? It's a RPG narrative dating sim surf game
Okay.
set on an alien planet with cooking mini games. It's a lot of fun. It has like I'll say more grown-up moments without being gratuitous.
Mm.
The dialogue is really, really cool. There's definitely some moments where I was like, oh, this is translated from French or something, isn't it? It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's not a super long game. I think it's like 6 or 7 hours long. There's I think 2 different endings. There's still stuff I haven't unlocked or found in the game. I had a lot of fun with that. Just the way the movement goes, because you walk, but you have like hover boots, so you do that sort of like just lean forward and then glide around the ground.
Yeah.
Just doing that is super fun because it feels like there's no like you don't get like controller vibration or anything like that when it's going on, but it has that thing where like you're looking at it and you can feel it in your hands as you move the controls around. It feels really, really good. I'm trying to think what else came out this year. See, because I took a big break during the summer after my grandpa died, where I just didn't play any video games. And I really feel like there has been a dearth of, at least, I don't even know about compared to last year. You would think last year would be the year when there were fewer games released.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It almost feels like there's the same amount of games or fewer released this year. But definitely way fewer than in previous years.
Okay, yeah.
Like, it seemed like there was a big release every month in 2019, 18, things
Right.
like that. And it's really difficult to think, like, okay, what actually came out? What did I get? What did I buy that was new? Especially when you have, like, a collection like I do where you're still buying, like, Super Nintendo games and things like that. Let me see. There was something that came out recently that I was excited about.
Oh, was it Dark Anthology or no?
Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that game. They did some changes for House of Ashes. They changed the engine up a little bit, changed the gameplay style up. I mean, again, it's a horror game, so I'm bound to love it. That's my favorite one in the series so far.
Okay.
I'm really excited to see where they go with the next one. I don't know. I think for me, my personal game of the year it's probably a tie between Dark Pictures Anthology and Medium. Honestly.
Okay.
I'm gonna think of something 20 minutes after we end this recording.
Like we always do that. Like, oh crap!
You need to include an addendum at the end.
The post show.
Edit in this grainy cell phone video of me ranting about something.
Nice.
I'm just trying to look at my game. Yeah, because it's I feel like the fact that not only is it difficult to get consoles, but because it seems like it's difficult to get consoles, I feel like that slowed the release schedule down. And a lot of things got pushed. Oh, hell. You know what?
Hey.
I almost forgot. I remembered it and I almost forgot. Life is Strange True Colors.
I
had a lot of fun with that. It was fun that they released the entire game as one, still in an episodic structure this time around. There was nothing worse with the previous ones than like getting to the end of that episode and then having to wait the 3 or 4 months, like just being, especially when you really get into it. The second one was so-so. But the first one, like when you got to the end of a chapter, and then you had to wait,
right.
It was physically painful.
Yeah, I can imagine. I obviously didn't do that, but yeah, I've knowing where those episodes end, yeah, that oof, ouchie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I liked the characters. There were some people who were really fun to hate, some people you really loved to root for. There was an entire section about LARPing, which was awesome.
Okay.
There was a jam band where they played one of my favorite songs. The whole thing was really cool. I have to replay it because I promised my sister I would redo it and let her pick all of the choices.
Oh, okay.
And I know she was really rooting for, I think his name was Ryan.
Okay.
She had for whatever reason, she was like, no, we have a trauma bond with him. We have to date him. I was like, I don't like him though. He's like a fucking plank. Yeah, no, that was a big one for me too. So, oh hell, and it's different too because House of Ashes and Life is Strange I streamed. Medium I just did on my own for the YouTube channel.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I had, I was playing them and I was experiencing them, but the atmosphere in which I was experiencing them was different.
Right.
Because one, it's just on my own. I'm questioning, I'm coming up with my own theories and answers, and the other ones, like bouncing things off of people, things like that. And I've been doing the streaming and the YouTube for, I don't know, 3 years now, something like that, maybe 4. I still couldn't tell you which one is better. They're both great in their own ways, especially with horror games. Experiencing it on your own without the comfort of having people to talk to adds a whole other level, because you really, like, the only thing that if you don't know what's going on, the only thing you can do is come up with whatever you can come up with. And if you're like me and you're an idiot, that's probably going to be wrong. So you're going to burn through like 17 theories in the course of a game, whereas somebody in chat is going to be intelligent and figure out what's going on ahead of time. So, yeah. I would say, though, probably out of those 3 were my favorite that were released this year. Of them, it would be a tie between Medium and House of Ashes.
Okay.
Not that Life is Strange isn't important to me. I definitely played that at a point where, like, I had a lot of shit going on. It's really those games are always really good at tugging at heartstrings and, like, being emotional in a really sincere way.
Yeah.
But it's sort of based on everything that I was going through at the time. It's an important game in a way that's sort of private, and even if it was something I enjoyed, I wouldn't give it my favorite game of the year, because it's got its own special little spot.
Yeah, for sure.
So
nice. So moving on to personal games we just have played a shit ton this year or just got the most out of.
I know what you're gonna pick. Kingdom Hearts.
No, but that's a good guess. Now there's been a few obviously that I've played a lot this year. Some of them are like ongoing games. So for example, like Apex Legends, I was into heavily, it seemed like, this past year. I've kind of dropped off a little bit here and there with the past couple seasons, but I'm slowly getting back into it. But there was a time every week we were playing Apex, myself, Popograph, and Electric Wizrobe. And that was a great time, just playing with people. Obviously Apex, solid gameplay and fun to play. Especially when you have the people to play with and party up with.
Everything that other game was supposed to be, but wasn't.
Right.
Anthem? I don't even remember anymore.
Well, Anthem was another train wreck of a thing.
That's what it was. Was Anthem was supposed to be what Apex ended up.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, Apex has been a blast, and then another one that's ongoing that Lady and I still play all the time has been Fortnite. I know Fortnite has, a mixed bag of audience, but, like, I don't know. It's just something about it that we enjoy jumping in. With the challenges, obviously chasing those down. And then progressively, we're getting good at the game, so we get some wins. So that's rewarding from time to time. Extra Life won't carried to that, but whatever. That game has been a lot of fun, and obviously they got all of their crazy and zaniness over there. Like Jeff mentioned, the fucking rocks in it now, so
they need to make an Amazon or a Netflix show set in the Fortnite universe. It's so ripe for like an Adult Swim kind of like violent comedy. Where like it's like this because it has actual characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are like characters from the very first season who are like actual defined characters in the whatever that game has for an overall plot,
right?
Like you could do that like as an Adult Swim show where they're just like killing each other and like they're back the next episode, like Kenny or something like that. I need that the same way I will never play Overwatch. I don't care. I'm not good at those kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
I want like an Overwatch show or movie or
That'd
something
be cool.
like that though,
yeah.
Because the universe is so interesting.
Right.
And it's not that the Fortnite universe is interesting, it's that it's so chaotic and random and weird that if you get the right team doing it, you can make something awesome out of it. Like I'm talking like Axe Cop awesome,
Okay. So yeah, Fortnite's been a big one that we've gone to and played a bunch. But I'd say my personal game that I played the most this year and like took me by surprise was actually a game that released last year. And a lot of people talked about it. A lot of people were recommending it. And I was like, I don't know if it's for me. When I saw the initial trailer, I was like, okay, that seems okay. But yeah, not my playstyle. Has been Hades. Hades has been amazing, just like everybody has talked about. Satisfying game loop. A hell of a variety with weapons, enemy types, the power-ups that you're going to get each run that you go. Just makes everything fun and exciting. It's one of those games where it seems like you're playing for a long time, but when, for example, you finish a run, you look at the clock and you're like, oh my god, it's only been 20 minutes. Like, I don't know, that always blew my mind. Like, I feel like I'm spending hours and hours playing it, which, I mean, I did. If you look at the playtime on PlayStation, it's close to 100. I'm like, oof. But, like, each run, satisfying as each run was only 20 to 30 minutes. I'm like, shit, I can play a whole lot more. I don't have to go to bed yet. Like, something like that. Stupid. So fun to play. The story itself is interesting as well, what you're trying to chase after and learn and discover as Zagreus in this world. Just a lot of fun. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, go through a run, lose everything, and then start fresh. But I feel
it's
like
an isometric roguelike. Or
exactly.
It's not a roguelike specifically. The levels are defined, aren't they?
I'm sorry?
Are the levels defined?
No.
Or the areas?
No.
Oh, so yeah, it's
a roguelike.
Roguelike with Greek. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's isometric, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just fun starting over, and like you do get stuff from each run. Obviously, you get the knowledge of the story, but you will be able to improve your main character, make him more powerful, whether it's health-wise, attack-wise, mobility, etc. So you do get the rewards of those runs from the past. It's just obviously, I don't get this lightning ability from Zeus that I had or whatever, but that's another thing that's fun too. I mentioned the diversity in gameplay, or the variety, is messing around with those different abilities and powers and being like, oh shit, this one's really good, or I don't really like Dionysus this much for this reason or whatever. But learning what skills and abilities work for you, and then also what weapon really is great. And that's the thing, there's like 6 or 7 different weapons, but then each of those weapons has like 4 different varieties. So you can even mess around with that. Like, I really like the bow for this reason, but this one over here, has a lock-on ability with my special that I don't have to aim anymore. That's awesome. I'm going to do that. Or the shield does this thing, or the spear does this. I don't really care for the spear. Like, just the fun of playing around with that each run. I don't know. It just keeps it exciting and doesn't, like, drag on. Even with dying over and over again, that game just, I should have listened to people earlier and played that game earlier.
I imagine there's a lot of crossover, because I don't know what part of the human psyche it needs this, but it's it tickles like the grind part of your brain. I imagine there's a lot of crossover between Hades and I've never played either of these. Hades and the Diablo games.
Oh, okay.
It's like you go until you die to see what you can get, and then you see if you can get further. Hades obviously has more variation, more customizability in how you approach it. But it's one of those like it's almost like the old coin-op games. You just play as far as you can to see what you can get done until you die, right. And then like, okay, do I have a quarter? In this case, quarter is, do I have enough time left in the day before I absolutely have to go to sleep or go to work?
Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely put Hades as my top game for personal of the year. I just, like I said, I put almost 100 hours into it, and it was so much fun that I didn't expect I would be having, especially from seeing the initial trailer and be like, I don't know, and then playing it and just being overwhelmed by it. It was fantastic.
It's definitely one of those games that the trailer does not do justice because it doesn't. You don't get the same feeling. Some games you get the same feeling watching it as you get playing it. That one you gotta play though.
Yeah. What about you, Jeff? What do you got from this year?
I mean, for a game that I played this year that wasn't necessarily released this year, I said earlier I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla when I got my Series X. I did not really touch it until the summer when I took a break from streaming and recording after my grandpa died, and I think I've put maybe 150 hours into that.
Nice.
I have no idea where I am at the story. I know I'm not to the halfway point. They just announced it's getting new DLC still.
Oh, is it?
I've burned through an entire DLC that took the entire like country of Ireland is where I was, and then back to England.
Oh.
There's one where I have to go to France still. I stopped playing for a while because I stopped a little bit. I was gonna jump back in, but I jumped back in. They did like a Christmas event.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I could do this. But then it kept loading me into a thing where it would, where it placed me on the map, auto started another quest, and I did not want to do that because it's like a mastery challenge kind of thing. I was like, I don't want to. Nope, I'm not. Okay, so I'm just gonna wait till the event's done, and I'll come back. I put a lot of time into that game. I like I said, I streamed it a couple times. It was interesting. I have gotten super deep into Assassin's Creed Valhalla in a way I have not gotten into an Assassin's Creed game since I think Brotherhood.
Okay, yeah.
Like everything when I watched you do Odyssey.
Yep.
Everything I watched and I was like, I don't like. Why is this? You know, you should just be able to go up and shank them. Like, I get it now. Oh, it helps that they reintroduced the stealth kill.
Hidden blade, yeah.
Yeah, it 100% helps. It's like, I don't know if it was like because I was at like, I was so like my anxiety shot through the roof during the summer. I had to like get a new doctor, get special medication, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it was a balance to all the horror stuff I was watching, where like I can just unleash rage on people and like, just pillage the English countryside, or it's just some, you know, it's one of those things where like I have complained about open world games and like towers unlocking maps, and for so long that I haven't touched one in such a long time that revisiting a fresh one like kind of reignited it for me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I put probably 150 hours, 200 hours in it. I'm not anywhere near. I spent more time like mixing and matching tattoos on my character than I have doing the main story. And like just decorating my town. So that was a really big one for me. That was like if school had been going on when I was into that, like it would have been one of those get up, get the kids on the bus, and then play the game until the kids get off the bus. So that was a really big one. Another one for me that I had been putting off for a long time because I like horror games. I don't like feeling helpless. Visage. I had watched one person play Visage. I thought I had seen the whole game. I guess they played a demo version. It was only like a part of a chapter. I had a lot of fun playing Visage. I like spooks, I like scares, I like horror stuff. I don't normally like being helpless. That game it gave me just enough ability to defend myself. It was like, I just need to find a light source somewhere or something, you know? And there was just enough, like, horror, but it doesn't make sense to be, like, good weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one random room I walked into with the crunking ghost. That was a big spread. I had a lot of fun with that though, and like that I had a really good chat for that as well. Like that some people tuned in who were also really into the game. And you know, when you stream a game, sometimes I know you've taken a break from it, but you know what it's like when like everybody's as into the game as you are.
Yeah.
And everyone's sharing that. That was just a really fun experience. And it definitely was like, okay, I want to, you know, I need to find another game like that. Still not doing Outlast. You can't pay me to do Outlast. I'll just crap my pants on stream for you, and we can skip the middleman. Let me see. Stuff that I got into. I mean, those are, like, again, Mass Effect, the remaster, like, it came out this year, but it's Mass Effect, so, you know, I got to revisit some of my favorite games ever. I'm trying to think. Oh, there was one, I had it on my head earlier, and then you said something really awesome, and it distracted me.
Oops.
And of course, Ollie's blocking my game shelf, and I can't see it. Yeah, no, I think overall it probably has to go to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just because that's the game I spent the most time with.
Yeah. And
I'm really surprised I spent as much time with it as I did without burning out. I definitely, finally, I think, mid-September, like starting in July, mid-September, I was like, okay, no, I can't for a little bit. But I spent a lot. I think it started a little bit last year, but earlier this year, we definitely started a deep dive into the Yakuza series.
Oh, yep.
And there's no real way to sum those games up.
No.
There's no. It's from one point to the other. It's too, like, just where the part of this video, the part of this podcast where I'm trying to explain Yakuza, just superimpose a GIF of Majima dancing.
There you go.
Just do that, and then that's my statement on that.
Fair. Nice. All right. Well, this has been another episode of the Wait, What Are We Talking About podcast. My name is Bret, a.k.a. Enigma911, and today I was joined once again by Jeff, a.k.a. Jeff Red Gaming. Jeff, thank you so much for being on the podcast today, man. It means a lot.
Yeah. What is this?
It's up there. I don't know.
I think I might be the reigning champ.
2 with Brent. You did 1 with Lady. We've done, I don't know. I feel like it's 6 or 7. I don't know.
At least 3. And 2 with Brent, 1 with Lady.
Yeah.
At least 2 on my own.
Right.
That's 5.
So you're up there.
Not counting this one. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Give me a belt.
The podcast guest champion.
Yeah.
There you go.
Next time I come on, I'm going to have a crown.
There you go.
That's going to be a tiara I stole from my daughter.
Perfect.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma911 every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. You can join the chat if you're a subscriber over there. Join in the conversation. We'd love to have you. If you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. It drops over on YouTube and podcast services the very next week, or it's broken out topic by topic and put as one big video and MP3 for your amusement. And last but not least, hashtag ad merch store and get all of your swag over there. T-shirts, cups, backpacks, and more. Rep the brand. Support us. It'd be greatly appreciated. Jeff, once again, thanks for being on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
We'll have to see what kind of crazy games we get into in 2022 now that I know my years. And
I mean, yeah, I can't even. I haven't enough time remembering what came out this year. Are there any more releases? I don't think there's anything.
This year, like Halo just came
big
out.
Or minor. I mean, I still haven't played the first one, so.
Oh, fair. I don't know. You said big release. I'm trying to think.
Halo Master Chief Collection is ridiculous. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrapping up the year, really. But we'll see. We'll see.
They stealth dropped the new Breath of the Wild.
Oh, goodness. Chat, thank you. Or viewers, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for giving this a listen. And we will see you guys on the next one. Take care.